Hi YouTube channel, people, visitors to my channel. This is my draw yourself at a bunch of different ages thing that I'm doing, as you can see from the title and probably the thumbnail. And I decided to put it as my video at the front of my page thing, whatever it's called, for people to see who visit my channel. If you want to know what I'm all about, I mostly make videos of digital art, although I have a camera, so I'll do traditional art eventually. Um, and then I monologue about things for a really long time. And this is kind of like my draw my life video. I don't know if anybody who's visiting my channel and watching this video in 2019 or plus remembers Draw My Life, but they were really popular at one point, and I always thought it would be really cool to do one. And I don't think I had ever made a YouTube, or I might have made a YouTube video at that point, but I hadn't made like a lot of YouTube videos at that point. It was a really long time ago. Um, and so I never like made one. And so this is kind of my draw my life, but it's draw myself at a bunch of different ages of my life. And I'm going to talk a little bit about each one. And hopefully they kind of present their own little story, although I didn't change kind of visually a lot as a child. I did wear Crocs when I was like, for like 3 years, when I was like 10. Um, when I was like 10, 11, I wore a lot of Crocs. So that visual marker you might notice, but for a lot of them, I looked kind of the same. And I felt a lot of various things. You know, some people. So I got this idea from just seeing a lot of um, people doing this with either their characters or themselves, where they draw a character or themselves at like a bunch of different age ranges. And I chose 5, although I've noticed that people do like 4 usually. And usually it's like your kid self and your tween self, like preteen and then teen and then adult, is pretty average. And a lot of people have like, well, like their scene phase or their emo phase. And I just kind of had my like angry Tumblr phase and also depressed phase. And you don't look any different in those phases. You just, wear sweatpants or leggings. I don't know. You don't wear jeans because you're not expected to go outside. So yeah, this is my draw myself, and this is my monologue about myself. And so yeah, I got the idea off of online, like various online sources, but I decided to make this video for a couple different reasons, which I'll go into in a minute. I first wanted to talk about like a few things about like my little pictures here. Um, basically about myself when I was younger. The only really significant thing about my youngest self, which is like 6 or below, was that I carried around a really big book, and it was a big green book, and its dust cover had come off, and I called it the Great Big Book of Everything. It was based on a TV show it was about a little boy who had a book that was called the Great Big Book of Everything, and he really liked animals, and it was a book of like just an encyclopedia of animals. Um, I mean, I'm pretty sure that girl would have been happy to know that I'm gonna be a biologist soon or have a degree in biology soon. Um, so so the second age range that I chose, which was like 10 to 13, I think, like I started to like learn to draw around that time. And um that was also when I wore the Crocs a lot. So I learned to draw. I learned to draw like anime from like a friend of mine at school who didn't know how to draw hands, so we just drew bulbous fists, like just round balls on the end of their arms. And that was where I started drawing. I mean, my mother was an artist, so I kind of always drew, but I was really into reading and animals, but when teachers started taking my books away, I would start drawing on things instead. Um, and yeah, and now I'm here on YouTube talking to nobody. And the next little drawing I did, which was the 14 to 17-year-old me, is I guess why I was so drawn in to doing something about my ages and talking about myself and um, remembering things is so earlier this year, at the very, very beginning of 2019, I found my old journals on DeviantArt. And DeviantArt, for people who haven't been around the internet for a long time or haven't been around art circles, is a website where you post your art and people just comment on it, and there are little like artist communities and stuff like that. You can have like you post like a journal, which is like just writing about whatever's going on in your life, and it's um I don't think a lot of people really use it anymore, which is why I felt like I should explain it. But at the time, in like 2009, I think I created my account, and by 2010 or 2011, I was 13 or 14, and I was using it a lot, like every single day. I was online because I didn't have a lot of friends in school, so I talked to people in chat rooms, and I talked to long distance friends who didn't go to my school in chat rooms. And when I went back earlier this year, I looked at all of the journals that I had written, and at the time I had written a journal pretty much just like every time I felt an emotion, which was a lot because I was very emotional at the time, as all tweens are. Um, but they kind of sucked. They were really, really sad, and I felt like I wanted to say something about. I don't know, not say something per se. I just like do something for like the 14-year-old who was just having a terrible time. So I drew a little picture of her, and maybe she'll find that affirming somewhere deep down inside myself. Um, and by the end of high school, I was a little less angry, as I think most people are, like a little less angry by the end of high school. Um, and I had a little less trouble. I mean, I was still pretty much an anxious wreck, like when I got to college, but it wasn't really as bad as high school or early in high school. Um, which is a time. I mean, it's a time that's really rough for everyone, but it's kind of hard. It's one thing to be like, oh well, like I guess those times were terrible for me, and it's another thing to like read all of your emotions that you just screamed at the internet all the time. And I felt that, that really affected me. And it's it got so much better from there, and I feel bad that that version of myself didn't had so much trouble with everything and couldn't see like like a brighter future. So I apologize if this gets kind of cheesy. I just I don't have I haven't had a bad life for the past year or couple of years. I mean, I haven't really had a lot of troubles in my life for a while, but the last year was pretty good. And I'm turning 22 the day after this video goes out, probably, which hopefully it'll go out February 1st, and my birthday is February 2nd. So um I the last age range that I put down was just I think 18 to 20, and I didn't include myself at 21 because myself at 21 is just feels a lot better about things than myself at 20 it did. Um and has a lot more going for her. And I guess I wish I could like not like go back in time and like I don't I know it's like cheesy to be like I wish I could like go back and tell myself that it would be fine. But um and I don't know if I exactly wish like all of those things that like made it terrible like didn't happen, because obviously then I would be the same person, blah blah cheesy stuff. But um I'm here where I am because of that, and I'm happy about where I am right now, at least. And that's a thing to be pretty happy for. And I am glad that, like, when I was 13 or 14, like, I didn't make it past that stage where I felt awful all the time. And, pretty much everyone does. Most people do. And I really, I just want people to get past that stage and hopefully to go on to new brighter things. I hope everyone gets that. not to be sentimental or anything. Yeah. I don't know if I have anything else to say. I just kind of felt like I had to get some things off my chest, and I've done my monologue now. I don't really have anything else to say for this video. It was fun to do and think about all the things I could tell my like little past selves with all the troubles that they had and stuff like that. I mean, there's nothing that I could really tell them that would improve per se. I think that, a lot of growth has to come from experiencing things. And it's unfortunate that that's true because if you could learn everything from everyone else, that would be great because that would make life so much easier. I've learned from the examples of lots of people in my life, but really, when it comes down to it, it's you just kind of figure things out as it goes. So yeah, hopefully I'll make another video. And sorry, end of that monologue. Hopefully I'll make another video next week and I'll spend more time editing it and it won't just be a monologue of me talking for a really long time and getting kind of emotional about how depressed I was at 14. But I'm glad that I said it anyways because someone needed to say it for me. Even if it was me. And if anyone is still listening to this and you're sad and you're 14, it's, I mean, nobody's gonna listen, but to the cliche, but it does get better. Also, my hair was really cool when I was like, 18. Like when the year I graduated high school, I dyed it pink and blue. Anyways, hopefully next week I'll come back with a new video. I know that's not a great promise. I'll try to get it by Friday, and I'll also try to edit it more, and, shit like that. Great. Love you, bye.